Hi, I'm Myrna Loy, founder of Blackbright News, which can be found at www.issue.com/Blackbright News. Issue is spelled ISSUU. Okay, so today's topic is, why don't black people support each other? Aren't you fed up of hearing that? I mean, what are they trying to make it? A self-fulfilling prophecy? If they say it long enough, we won't? What about how the way thousands of black people supported Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X? They had masses of followers. What about the Million Man March? That was led by Louis Farrakhan in October 1995. And you know how many people? I know there's a discrepancy between 400,000 and 837,000, but there was a lot of people supporting that cause. And what about all those black people supporting Barack Obama? So regardless, you know what people say, it shows that black people can pull together and support each other if they choose to. There was also the Day of Absence for those who couldn't attend the Million Man March, and it was organised by the female leaders. And, that shows unity. So what is their problem? We really need to stop reinforcing the myth that we don't support each other, because it ignores our progress and adds to the fuel of failure. We often criticise ourselves without doing anything to improve the situation. And when we're sent videos that are meant to empower us, we discard them and prefer to focus on and share videos depicting violence and graphic images, that destroy ourselves. And the videos that are edifying, we either throw them out or keep them to ourselves. I'm not quite sure why that is, but I do know that black people do support themselves. They might not support themselves in the way we would like them to, but there again, there's all this stuff about, look at the Indians, look at the Asians, look how they stick together. Well, believe you me, I won't tell you where I work, but there is a lot going on in their families where they're not united, where their children are where their women are fleeing for fear of their husbands. So is that unity? So all they see is the shops. People who are complaining about black people not uniting, they see all the Asian shops and they say we don't unite. Now they're moaning about the Polish shops and saying we don't unite. It's got nothing to do with uniting. But you know what? When you think about black people, because they don't, I do appreciate that a lot of them don't pull together as much as they should. But, we come historically, we've developed from mistrust. And you have to realise that it goes way back historically. If you think about the house slave and the field slave, that kind of distrust was instilled by the slave master from that point. They separated them by age, by race, by how big they were, and they made them competitive against each other. And then the house slave behaved a lot of the time like the slave master, was beating up, the dark-skinned slaves. So, there's no wonder that the trust, but what I don't understand is why it still exists. And it can only exist because it's been perpetrated throughout the generations. But don't say we don't support each other. The Black Lives Matter movement is another example of how we support each other against racism. However, if black people contradict this slogan by destroying themselves and others and do not take care of themselves first and collectively, then waving the Black Lives Matter ban is hypocritical. We must get involved in issues that affect our children, especially our children, and whether we have personal interest or not, we need to send the message out there that we care about each other, and not only when there's a breach of justice or mistrust. Black people are those of African Caribbean heritage living in the UK. whether born in the UK or not, and there are a lot of us. Black people support our celebrities in acting, musical, sports world. On the surface, it seems like it's mainly dances and comedy events and social networks and hair salons and barbers where black people support each other. But they do support each other in other ways, substantive ways. And especially when we're challenging unfairness and police brutality. What about when we got together with Blair Peach, Sean Rigg, Smiley Culture, Mark Duggan, Kingsley Burrell, and more recently the killing of Rashan Charles? Look how many people got together, to advocate for fairness. How can people say we don't support each other? It's a misnomer, and it's a misnomer that we should not allow any of our people to believe, because it's just not true. History books can confirm how long black people have been in competition with each other, divided by skin complexion and the house and field Negroes, like I mentioned before. We were forced to create segregation within our own race. This competition was instilled by the white slave masters, separating us, like I said, through age, skin tone, size, intelligence, causing envy and distrust. The only thing I don't understand is why that envy and distrust still exist today. I guess when you think about our parents or the way they behave, I guess we mimic them. And I remember, living in an environment where the best china was for the visitors who were mostly white. And we were taught in a way to respect white people and put on our best behaviour when they were around. So I guess it has perpetuated over the years. But we're in a generation now where we should not be perpetuating that any longer. But it still seems to exist. Or maybe it's too late. Maybe we've destroyed our legacy to such a point that even the young people coming up do not see how they can progress. And that's because now that we're no longer mentally enslaved, they're enslaving us through division. They're making sure that the black man is not there to support the black woman. They're making sure that the black man is seen as a criminal. And so every time they show his face on TV, blasted across the screens, it makes people fearful. They've made sure that the black men are in jail in mental institutions. A lot of black men now have turned gay, or were born gay, whichever. But the fact of the matter is they're not around to procreate and create children. And so the black family is dispersing. So the way they have it, and also all this is still controlled by the media. They're still instilling in us negative messages about the black men, so the black women don't want them. And it's sometimes I get so frustrated when people keep saying we don't support each other. There are so many people doing good work out there. Malcolm X called it the field and house Negro mentality. House Negroes love their masters more than themselves. They value their opinion more than their own opinion. The mindset of the master was superior, has fed down to generations, but not sure why. I still keep saying it. I don't understand why, especially when people like Trump prove that they're not worthy to be in that position. Theresa May, is she worthy of adoration? Is she worthy of this high esteem that, people bestow on her when she shows frailty and instability? Why does what happened 400 years ago still impact us and our psyche now? Does each generation pass down the slave master's mentality and legacy to their children? And if so, who's going to break the mold? I think I'm going to stop it here, and this will be part 1, because I think this is going to be maybe a 2 or 3 part. Anyway, this is Mona Loy of Blackbright News, and I'm talking about, do black people support each other?